emergency. Okay, so maybe it's not an emergency, more of a celebratory call to fondly remember a phenomenal hit medical drama from the 1970s. It primarily focused on two rescuers, Gage and Roy DeSoto, as they saved lives as paramedics from Squad 51, a medical and rescue unit of the LA County Fire Department, who teamed up with the Rampart General Hospital medical staff. So you got both sides of it. And boy, was it thrilling and sincerely genuine. A brilliant time capsule to the 1970s, and certainly a staple of Saturday night programming back in the day. I'm your host, Nostalgic Nick, and today we're revisiting the wonderful cast that took us on a pulsing adventure every week. If you enjoy our cast deep dive, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But hey, I hear some sirens, so I think it's time to save some lives. Kevin Tighe.
Hi. Are you hurt?
Oh no, but I'm kind of caught here.
Roy DeSoto was one half of the paramedic team from Station 51. DeSoto had all the medical knowledge and never hesitated to risk his life for another. And apparently he and Mantooth acted such an accurate portrayal that some viewers witnessed their CPR techniques and actually saved lives from watching this show by recreating what they saw. Pretty cool. Tighe began working in show business in 1967 as an extra in The Graduate. But it really was his DeSoto, first on Adam 12, then of course Emergency, that shot Kevin to fame. And he and his partner Mantooth remained lifelong friends. Tighe even serving as best man at Mantooth's second wedding in 2002. The early 80s were quiet, but 1989 brought some films like Roadhouse, K9, and Another 48 Hours. By the mid-90s, he was back on TV and working constantly. From 6 episodes of Murder One in 1995 to 6 episodes of Lost in the 2000s. Tighe has quite the resume. We last saw him in a 2016 episode of Law & Order SVU. He spent the last few years focusing on stage work, but he does have a movie announced called Spirit Water. Today, Tighe is 77 years old and has been married to his second wife Rebecca since 1995. Tighe was also lifelong friends with the dearly departed actor John Ritter, and he cites Julie London as not only a best friend, but also his acting mentor. Robert Fuller. Dr. Brackett was a dedicated and no-nonsense senior ER physician at Rampart General. We met Brackett in the pilot, where we learned he was very cautious in his work. A bit hard-nosed, a bit surly, not quite Marcus Welby demeanor, but he sure had the best, furriest sideburns in the ER. He was quite handsome, and I know he had all the moms crushing hard. Robert Fuller began as an extra in 1952's Above and Beyond, and he did extra work in some huge films like The Ten Commandments. But it was 1957 when his friend Chuck Courtney got him a role in a film he was set to star in, Teenage Thunder. The two choreographed a fight to show the director. That same year, he landed a role in the better-known sci-fi flick The Brain from Planet Eros. Then he broke into the world of TV, first as a guest star, but in 1959 he began starring alongside John Smith in the rancher show Laramie, a uniquely popular show that gave screen time to simple chores, taking care of the ranch, a very authentic Western. Robert played Jess Harper and gained millions of fans worldwide. Fuller even said this was the best part he ever had. And during this time, he was also starring on Wagon Train, playing Cooper Smith for 60 episodes. He called NBC home at this point and was comfortable on a horse. In 1966, Fuller was tasked with filling the shoes of Steve McQueen for the Magnificent Seven follow-up film Return of the Seven, because Yul Brynner only agreed to do the film if the King of Cool was not involved. It certainly didn't touch the original brilliance, but it did spark a lifelong friendship between Brynner and Fuller. Then it was time for 1972's Emergency. At first, Fuller didn't want to play a doctor, but the ever-persistent producer Jack Webb of the famed Dragnet convinced him to take the role after he politely rejected twice. Webb kindly reminded Fuller that Westerns were on the decline. In 1997, Fuller guest starred alongside Randolph Mantooth on a season 5 episode of Diagnosis overdoses murder. His final acting role was playing a descendant of Jess Harper in the Chuck Norris-led Walker, Texas Ranger. He retired after that. Robert's first marriage ended in 1984 after 22 years, but he and Patty had 3 kids, Robert Jr., Christine, and Patrick. In 2001, Fuller remarried actress Jennifer Savage. She played Nurse Lucy in Saint Elsewhere. Today, Fuller is 88 years old and has since left the busy LA scene for a beautiful ranch in Texas. Once a cowboy, always a cowboy. Julie London. Dixie McCall served as an Army nurse during the Korean War and was the head nurse at Rampart. She was a bit cold in demeanor, but completely stunning and surely a draw for men. London began acting in 1944 mostly in small roles, but was better known as a singer and frequent game show panelist. In the 50s and 60s, Julie was widely known for her distinctive, sultry vocals and recorded over 30 albums of pop and jazz standards. Her recording of Cry Me a River from 1955 was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 2001, and the tune is just hauntingly beautiful.
Well, you can cry me a river.
Her Dixie McCall led to a Golden Globe nomination in 1974, and other memorable roles include 1951's The Fat Man alongside Rock Hudson, 1958's Saddle the Wind with Robert Taylor, which is well liked but was a flop at the box office, and 1959's The Wonderful Country with Robert Mitchum, which was also a commercial failure. She then transitioned to TV in the 60s and 70s, with Emergency being her only series regular gig, as well as her final acting role. You see, she was previously married to co-creator Jack Webb from 1947 until 54, but the pair forever remained friends. London first met her Emergency co-star Bobby Troup just weeks after her Jack Webb divorce, and Troup and London got married in 1959 and stayed married until Bobby passed away in 1999. Her final album was released in 1969 called Yummy Yummy Yummy, but at this point she had lost some vocal control due to years of smoking and drinking. She had been a chain smoker from the age of 16, smoking up to 3 packs a day. Julie London suffered a stroke in 1995 and remained in poor health until she passed away in October of 2000. She was 74 years old, truly a phenomenal talent through and through. Bobby Troup. Dr. Joe Early was a direct contrast to Dr. Brackett, more low-key and tactful. He knew how to talk people down from hot-headedness, which was quite useful. Bobby Troup began acting in 1950, and similar to his future wife London, he was also very successful in music. His early success was 1941's song Daddy, which was #1 for 8 weeks, and the #5 record of 1941.
Daddy, Daddy, get the best for me.
Musicians who have since recorded the song include Glenn Miller, Bing Crosby, and the Andrews Sisters. But his best-known song was Route 66, which Nat King Cole perfected in 1946.
Get your kicks on Route 66.
In terms of acting, he portrayed musician Tommy Dorsey in 1959's The Gene Krupa story, as well as making 3 guest appearances on Perry Mason, 2 of them also showcasing his musical talents. Troup first met Julie London at the Celebrity Room where he was singing, and he encouraged her to pursue music. And in 1955, he even produced her masterpiece, Cry Me a River. I just might, 'cause that's beautiful. His role in Emergency was one of his last, as well as playing Sergeant Gorman in Robert Altman's film MASH. In February 1999, Bobby Troup sadly died of a heart attack at the age of 80. Ron Pinkert. Dr. Mike Morton was a young intern who served in the U.S. Navy. He usually wore an older-style physician's uniform or the standard green surgical scrubs. Pinkert stepped onto the scene in 1968 in, of course, the Jack Webb created and starred Dragnet 1967, then completed 3 episodes of the Jack Webb co-created Adam 12. I'm starting to see a pattern here, but it makes sense as Emergency is a spin-off of Adam 12 and Dragnet, all helming from the mind of Jack Webb and others, of course. He'd complete several Perry Mason TV movies in the 1990s, but that would do it for acting. He served as a lieutenant commander in the United States Navy Reserve and retired as a full commander. He was also the head of the Denver Film Commission from 1991 until he retired in 2003. Today, Ron is 81 years old and hopefully not having any emergencies anytime soon. Randolph Mantooth. Paramedic John Gage usually rode shotgun in Squad 51, as the pair bolted to the Dodge, put on their firemen's hats, and roared off to the scene. Now Gage was a leader, strong but sensitive, and his actor was sensitive too. Randolph Mantooth, man, what a name. He was forced to cut his hair in compliance with real LA County Fire Department standards, and told the technical advisor that they should, quote, make room for long-haired firemen. He began acting in 1970 and quickly landed Emergency, as well as voicing the animated series Emergency +4.
Me and my big mouth.
Immediately after Emergency ended, he joined Operation Petticoat for its second season after a near-complete cast rehaul, then fast into the lone season of Detective School. But his next mainstay on TV was in the hit soap Loving in the 80s, playing Alex Masters. From there, he got really comfortable in the soap world, also appearing on As the World Turns and One Life to Live. His last prominent role came in 2011, completing 2 episodes of Sons of Anarchy. Mantooth has always been an advocate for firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, and other emergency services. He often does speeches and personal appearances, discussing the development of emergency and its impact on EMS development. He also serves as a spokesperson for the International Association of Firefighters and honorary chairman for the nonprofit County of LA Fire Museum. Part of this is because his 13.5-acre ranch in the Lobo Canyon area of California got decimated in the Malibu fire on October 15, 1978. Today, Mantooth is 76 years old and is in remission from cancer, for which he completed treatment in 2015. He revealed on his Facebook page that his sister had died of cancer that same year. We are wishing nothing but the best to this fine actor and an even finer human being. And there you have it, the main cast of Emergency, who all went on to do incredibly great things, in entertainment and out of it. I have to say, Bobby Troup and Julie London's dual talents are just incredibly impressive. So let's chat. Who is your favorite actor in this life-saving show? Did you ever watch the animated Emergency series? And is this the best work of Jack Webb's? Or are you more of a fan of Dragnet or Adam 12? Let us know in the comments below, we read them all. As always, consider clicking that thumbs up for us, it really helps a lot. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a memory. From all of us here at Do You Remember, thank you very much for watching.